right, can you guys hear me? Should be back. Sorry about that. Internet was out a little bit longer than it normally is, so. And somebody's going to need to give me an invite back into the group, so into the fleet. Says I'm live again.
Oh.
Hey, you hear me?
Yeah.
Right,
I was sitting there talking, and then it just kind of got really quiet. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Screwed me up. The internet cut out on me. It was a little longer than it normally is, so I'm kind of sucked.
All right, let's see if we can reestablish everything here. I think we got everything.
Yeah, it looks like it. I'll have to check it out on my side, make sure it's picking it up. So somebody's sending me a fleet invite. There we go. Yep. All right, cool.
I don't see the chat picking up. Hold on. There we go. Oh, shit. I did it wrong. Hold on.
Yeah, I probably have to switch windows. Let me see.
Yeah, I got to go back to Chrome to do it. Forgot. All right.
Properties. Yeah, so that window doesn't exist anymore. There it is.
Line it up.
All right, you guys hear everything now? Let's see.
I can.
Yeah, it was a little more than a minor one there, Dark Slider, unfortunately. Kind of was longer than usual. Usually I lose it for about a minute and it OBS reconnects, but
There we go.
all right. So the belt's gone? We're still here.
No, it's still some rocks here.
That's bad. Okay. He was saying 5-5. I thought we were switching belts. I'm like, uh-oh. Man, I missed a lot. So can you guys hear both of us?
Yeah, I can hear. I'm quite sure everybody can hear
Okay,
you
cool.
from me if they're still in mine. So.
Cool. 5x5. Got it. Thanks, Kickin.
All right. Yeah. So what I was saying before, I realized you were gone about the Kit Kats, but Lay's has like a huge fucking international Asian flavor line.
Really?
Yes,
I didn't realize that.
I was in this Asian market called Sprove up in Jersey City, and I usually go there to get my little snacks and stuff when I'm staying there for work. And I usually stay either at the Canopy by Hilton, which is like, it's literally a half a block away.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's right there. It's right there. The gross at the it was at the east entrance for the PATH station for Grove Street. So anyway, I go in there and I'm seeing all these fucking Lay's bags, but I couldn't read them because everything was in, I think, Chinese. So, but I can almost imagine, like, oh, I can kind of tell what that might be.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
You know, and they even in India has like a small line of Lay's flavors. I was in Atlanta a while back, and there's just like this little Indian place that does it's almost like fast food, like a kava, or it's quick. You can get in, get yourself some good Indian cuisine, but it's not like you got to sit there and wait for it for half an hour to be cooked.
Right.
And they had like garam masala flavored Lays and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, shit. I tried them. I was like, damn, these are good. So, but yeah, I always bring back, because my daughter, she loves the Asian stuff that's made over, that you can only get, pretty much you can only get over there, and it has to be imported if you want it here. So,
okay.
So I get her like the little candies they sell, the little jelly candies and stuff that they sell over in Japan and in Korea and stuff. And I can find stuff there that I can't really find. I can find it here in markets too, but it seems like they have a better selection
right
of some stuff that she's looking for. So.
That's cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to call my buddy Elon and see if he can help me out with this Starlink shit. Get me off this waiting list.
To be honest, there's still people in North Carolina that's on waiting lists.
Yeah,
believe it or not. I saw the map. I was like, and where I saw that was disturbing because it was up in the mountains where where they had this storm damage.
Yep,
And I was like,
yep.
why are they all still
Right.
on waiting lists?
They should have been the first ones to get it, to be perfectly honest, right? Because they don't really have any other options, right?
Yeah. They say it doesn't really benefit anybody that lives in an area that has more options.
Right.
But if I was to get one, I would probably get it as an emergency. They have a plan that it's not a full use plan.
Right,
It's like when you need it.
Turn it on, turn it off. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about getting that plan just to have and just carry it in my toolbox.
Yep. Good to have.
Whenever I think I might need it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, good to have. But yeah, those people in North Carolina, they should have up in the mountains should have been one of the priorities. So.
Yeah, I didn't understand why it's still. Maybe that map is old too. That might be the case too. But I'm hoping it is because they were giving away. What is it? During the height of the crisis, they were actually giving the units away to folks that lived there.
Well, were they? Okay.
Yeah. So. Dodge Kappa.
Yeah.
To get ready to drop some.
Yeah, I think my ads are running, so I think that's what he just dodged it. So.
Oh, that's usually so you can get a gift sub if you're waiting for somebody to drop them.
Yeah, he's already got a sub, so I think. I don't know. He might not have been on yesterday. Kicking was throwing him around like candy yesterday, so there you go.
Well, sometimes you.
Thanks, Kicking.
You don't stream to get. Yeah, you don't even have to even be in the stream to get it. I've been asleep, and I wake up with notifications that.
Yep.
Some stream that I actually visited, and I got this, I got a damn gift sub.
Yep. I've had that too.
I mean, I'm obligated. Yeah, I'm obligated now to go follow this person.
Yep.
And actually, okay, you got a good stream going on here, so.
Yeah.
Rushlock caught it, yeah. Yeah, he did. Dodge Kappa. I'm like, damn, Rushlock. All right. What time is it? Okay. I am actually an hour over.
Uh-oh. Sorry about that.
Nah, it's all. We was having fun, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's see. Now I leave my Mackinac here.
There you go.
Now I don't take it all the way back. I just fly in a frigate to get here because I'm like 9 jumps away at any given time. So
yeah, see what I did.
This stuff here.
I did a clone. I do a clone jump, and that's what I have because I'm about 13 jumps away, and so I leave all the ships here and just clone jump. And so, thanks for the gift sub, Kicking.
You are the man.
He is the man. He is the man.
This man single-handedly led the charge for St. Jude last week for Ohana and Haven.
There you go.
Fundraiser.
There you go. Now that's a good cause. That's a good cause too. Yeah, and that's the other thing. And Meg, if you ever need a ship or any of the people on your stream need a ship, we've always got extras here. So.
Okay. I mean, I figured this is the only Mackinac I have here on this side of the world. All of my other stuff is sitting in Solitude in the Solitude region. So I only have a limited amount of stuff here, and there's sometimes I'll buy ships, but I'll wind up giving them away eventually. You know.
Yep.
But I figured since this is the only time I'm actually going to do any major mining. I'll leave it in the system
There you
docked,
go.
so that way all I gotta do is just fly over here on Monday. So
Yeah. Kickin says this is his home, so appreciate that, Kickin.
Euphene, or what is that? How you fit? No, wait a minute. Yeah,
Yeah,
Euphene.
Eupheme. Yeah, Eupheme. It was funny. We were one system over in a Mattins, and we got into a big fight with another mining corp because they mined out all the belts, and
Yeah.
it was kind of funny. And so I just after the smoke cleared and everything else, I think they hired some people to kind of track me and do all this stuff, and it was kind of a pain in the butt, and it really didn't cause any problems, but then we looked and we saw Euphene was only one jump away and it had more belts and there's nobody here and nobody bothers us. And I was like, well, why the hell didn't we just move over here in the first place?
Yeah.
So we were like, well, that was stupid. Thanks for getting a big fight with people for nothing, you know?
Yeah, I'd be like, well, damn. I mean, we could have been over here, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good kind of thing.
A big fight,
Yeah,
the
I
four
get
of
it.
us. Yeah. I think we had more back then kicking. It was probably about 8 of us, but yeah. Yeah, they actually hired, I guess, some mercenaries to follow me around and tell them about all my alts and everything else. And I'm like, one of the mercenaries was like, "This is stupid." I was like,
Yeah, when you get somebody that you hired
mm-mm.
to tell the target is useless.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what the mercenary was kind of like. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing here because this is really stupid. It's like,
yeah, I
high tech.
you
That's what it
know
was.
it's
High tech slap fighting. That's exactly it. StreetCornerBecky. High tech slap fighting. I remember the old days where I would just war deck them, you know, and then, you know, after we blew up a couple of their ships, then they'd be like, okay, never mind, you know, because they were all miners, you know. And I was like, and so, but yeah, it was funny because it was like, yeah, you can't war deck people anymore. What do you mean you can't war deck people anymore? Oh, they have to have a structure and they have to agree to it. And I'm like, well, then how are you supposed to, you know, resolve your differences? They're like, you don't. And I'm like, and that's where the mercenary guy was like, yeah, the guy, yeah, the mercenary guy was like, well, that's what they hire us for, is they hire us to go ahead and take care of them. And said, but we hate getting in these miner fights. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to hire you to blow up miners. That's silly, you know? Like,
well, there's a few out there that would actually do it.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah, deckable, yeah.
Are,
Well, that was what they did. Is I think they did have posses, but they had them in a holding corp that only had one member, and so they put their POSs in a holding corp. And I'm like, well, you know, CCP should definitely be able to see through that, you know. And it's like, so yeah, I was like, what the hell? So they ruined war decking, because I mean that was the thing. You'd war deck them for like 2 weeks. People would lose ships on both sides, and everybody like, hey, this is costing us too much money. Forget this.
Yeah, who's going to pay the war bill?
Right,
you know?
right.
So,
Let's play nice. Let's play nice. You know, it's like
I actually enjoyed the fact that you know what, you war deck me. I'm not spending the money.
Right. But yeah, that was the thing. I was like, yeah, you can't even do that anymore. It's like, what the hell? Because that's what I said. I said, well, I'll spin up a POS if it means that I can, you know, that I can war deck them. They're like, oh no, they've got their POS in a holding corp. It only has one member. So all you're going to do is declare war on them, which, you know, that guy's never logs on. So, and I'm like, well, that's freaking stupid.
If they're really smart, can they? Wait a minute, man. Let me ask StreetCornerBecky this question. Can they? Let's see. Can you drop a pause? We talking like a control tower, because you can still you can get decked with those too.
Oh yeah.
Can you drop a control tower in a wormhole, get war decked, but can they still find? Well, will it still list it? And I guess it's just a matter of trial and error trying to find the wormhole. I guess.
Right. Which takes forever, right?
Yeah. You got to know the pathway to get to it.
And there's a couple corps you can pay that they'll find it. I think for what, 400 million.
Shit,
I think. Yeah.
Oh, he said it wasn't. It won't tell him where it is.
Oh no, it won't.
Okay.
Oh no, it won't tell them where it is. They got to find it. Yeah, they got to
Nice.
find it themselves. So you just have to have one in order to be able to do the war deck or to do the war deck
Right.
on somebody. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay, that works.
But yeah.
Yeah, go throw one up in a C4, a C2 or something that's unoccupied.
Yep.
Because I see them scattered all over the place
Oh, yeah.
when I go in
Oh,
the
yeah.
wormhole. So
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
locator agents
wait a
don't work
minute.
either. Yeah.
He said, but.
But yeah, yeah. Well, and like I said, there are some NPC corp or not NPC corps. There's some player corps that you can pay to find things.
Yeah, they'll look around.
Yeah.
They'll try to find it.
Yeah, and they'll just they go out there and so because I was looking at one. I have a bunch of PI stuff in a wormhole that we used to own 20 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, that would be really profitable if I could get that crap out of there, but. But I think, like I said, I think they wanted 400 million to find the wormhole, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if it's worth that much, you know.
Oh, wait a minute. Do you know the wormhole name?
Yeah, I know the name because the PI tells me the name, and so.
Oh yeah, that's like a needle in the haystack, man.
Yeah. So bombdigityy, I'm using a Hulk here is what I'm using. So.
You would have to watch the report every day to see if it pops up.
Yeah.
And that's a pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just cut my losses at that point.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at. So that's what I told my viewers. I said, hey, if any of you guys ever come across this name, I'll split it with you. I said, but yeah, at this point,
let you know.
Yeah.
But then time is against you anyway, so.
Yep. Because I'm sure somebody else probably moved into it, so. Yeah, Kickin looked for 5 days, and then he was like, never mind, yeah. Yeah, because it's probably, like I said, it's probably $1 billion worth of stuff in there, a PI. But like I said, if I got to pay them 400 million, and then I got to try and haul it all out, now
it's not worth it.
It's not really worth it at this point. So that's why I said, well, if I'm I'd rather give it to one of my viewers if it's gonna come to that. So yeah, that's why I said I'll split it with you guys. If one of you just happens to come across it. So I have it on my list here. I used to have it stuck to my monitor, so anytime I jump in the wormhole, I check it against that name and say, hey, that's not the one. Keep going.
Right, yeah. Well, luckily I haven't lost anything that bad in a wormhole, but I may have left the NTU or something.
Yeah.
Anchored. Which probably got blown away. I think there's a timer on it. If nobody touches it, it'll fucking deactivate it.
Yeah, they'll deactivate. Yeah, so the PI stays out there forever, and so as long as I have it in my PI list, it tells me the system, and I can even regenerate it. So what I've done is I think I built some more storage units and just kept mining more stuff and throwing it in there, and
you can remote. Yeah, you can remote it, but you just can't.
I just can't collect it, right? And so so it's kind of like okay, but it's kind of funny.
I have let's see, my main character. I have it set up. Speaking of PI, I'm glad you said something. I started it a while. Restarted some stuff a ways back. And it's been done for a while.
Oh yeah.
Never went back to it.
Yeah, and that's pretty common because it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. So
I would think that you would at least get some kind of notification.
Oh no. Yeah, they don't tell you nothing.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But, I would like to. Yeah, there's a lot of things that CCP could do, that little minor tweaks.
Yeah.
But I guess that's making everything easy. Let's see. We restart extraction. Yeah. See, I started this, and I forgot even. I think it only lasts a couple days.
Yeah.
I think I started it before I went on my trip, my last trip to New Jersey, which was like a week worth up there, and I just forgot about it.
Yeah.
I'll get around to dealing with this later, I guess. Yeah, I was producing like oxygen and water
Yeah, yeah.
for
Actually,
some people.
yeah, just about anything you produce is worth pretty good money, you know, once you haul it out of there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those you can't really go wrong. But
Yeah, I was producing that for somebody specific. Somebody had asked me. They said they needed some water, a lot of water, a lot of oxygen on a regular basis, and I was like, all right, well, fine. Here's what I'll do. I will sell you what I make, and then you do whatever you have to do along the process. But I wasn't going any further than
right.
I think this tier two.
Yep, yep.
Tier two, I think it is. What's this
Yeah,
one?
because it gets really profitable when you start getting into tier 3 and tier 4, because they make a huge
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if what is my final product line out of this one. Yeah, tier two. That's all I was doing was tier two stuff.
Yep.
And I was making some good profit, over time. I would just, produce it, store it, move it, produce it, move it, store it, produce it, move it, store it until I got enough to where I could just throw it on the market, saturate it a little bit, and just see whatever comes off of it. But the raw materials, they really don't.
No. Yeah.
It depends. It actually depends on how much of it you have.
Yeah, that's true.
If somebody was looking for something that they're running short on, they can't find they don't have a decent planet producing it, then or they're taking a shortcut. They're just looking to see if anybody's dumping raw materials, so they just go straight to tier 2 and 3 production. What is that? Oh, never mind. Then yeah, I used to dump raw material. And matter of fact, I still got a shitload of it in Solitude.
Right.
That I couldn't sell out there because it's light. Stuff is lighter out there. We got.
Yeah, I got him.
A rat coming in.
Yeah, okay. I got him.
Because I got my mining drones out.
Yeah, you're good. I tried it. That's one of the other things we provide is we try to take care of the rats as long as I'm paying attention. So.
Well, I used to actually do that. I used to stand guard over our fleet in Solitude.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to, myself and 2 other people, we'd be in like a couple cruisers or something.
There you go.
A few frigates. So usually folks came in, they thought about it before they started some shit. So.
Right. I would
actually be cloaked in a Tengu. I'd be the only one sitting in a Tengu cloak. While, if somebody comes in, decides to fucking just start some shit, and then I just decloak like a fucking Klingon and just pounce in their ass. They're like, "Holy shit!" And they running their asses off. And they used to hate it because I used to sneak into the fleet cloaked.
Yeah.
And I would bump the orca.
There you go.
I would get close enough to where I decloak all of a sudden, and they just start to shit in their pants. Like, what the fuck, man? What did I tell you not to do this shit?
That's awesome. That's what we ended up doing to that mining corp that was giving us hell. We went and started bumping their orca when they were doing mining events, and they really got pissed.
Yeah, exactly. Just sneak up in a cloak ship and boom. Yeah. Hey, I'm here. Hello, I'm here.
They were super pissed, and it was like, and we weren't even really doing nothing. So then they finally were like, okay, let's call it quits to this. And one of my viewers was still bumping him. He's like, can you please ask him to stop bumping us? I said, I'll try, but he's having way too much fun.
Exactly. StreetCornerBecky, yeah, the market is hit or miss. Oh yeah, I was very impressed that you killed Color. Because he was a menace. Let's put it that way. Color was he was worse. You know what? He made Zai Zen look like a fucking choir boy sometimes. Him and Bogdan. Color and Bogdan were the 2. I mean, Zai Zen had his moments, but he could be. You can be diplomatic with him if you approach him the right way. But Bogdan and Color, they were just pure deep fucking class A assholes. So, yeah, pretty much.
No, Kickin', I didn't see that.
out ships.
Kicking swapped out ships. Yeah, he's got a Kronos out here kind of watching stuff, so he's kind of guarding our back. No, I think that's overkill.
If I was on the prowl and I decided I saw that and you guys were in the right space, yeah, I'd still probably like back away. I'm like, okay, I don't need a piece of that.
Yeah,
don't want it.
There's always easier ones to find. So the suicide gankers was the ones that always used to get me. It was like, man, you guys are losing money on this. I know you are.
Yeah, they are, and that's why you don't see it a lot anymore.
They just do it to do it. It's like,
yeah, I mean, now you got some that will just sit there in like a 0.5 system, and they'll bait you. That's how they get around it a little bit. But in actuality, you don't really see a lot of them doing this shit in high sec that much anymore. I mean, it was like at one point it was fun to do,
right?
But now people are like, well, shit, I got to replace all this shit that I'm losing.
Right.
You know?
That was why they were doing it all in Catalyst, because they were cheap. You know?
Yeah. Now they nerf certain ships, and you got to change your tactics a little bit. I remember there was a time where I think a lot of people were buying up fucking caracals.
Oh yeah.
And then the fucking price went through the fucking roof for a little bit, and then you didn't see a button. You saw a lot of kill mails with that. People were they were using to gank people. And even in high sec, and at least 0.5 system where you kind of got a little bit of time to disperse if you have to.
Yep. Yeah, a lot less reaction time from Concord.
Right. So, but then the fucking price for a while went up, and I was like, okay, first of all, there ain't no fucking caracals on the market. Second of all, the fucking prices are elevated. What the fuck happened? That's when I found out about it. So.
The asteroid is depleted.
All right, I'm gonna do this last rock, and I'm gonna get out of here, bro.
All righty, bud. Appreciate it.
Same here, man. I appreciate the company, the camaraderie.
Oh no, you guys are always welcome. Always welcome. Like I said, we do it every Monday night your time, Tuesday morning my time now. But yeah, we do this every week, so just kind of either a nice way to start the week or end the week, whichever it works out to be. So.
Right. All right. Well, yeah, this rock is gonna be about another minute or two, and then let me.
Yeah, we're almost done with this belt. So.
It's fine. I'll just have to sell the ore. I don't really need it right now, to be honest with you. I got inventory I gotta clean up. We were talking about this on my stream earlier. I have a shitload of off assets scattered
everywhere. I used to, and I actually consolidated them all, and that made a huge difference.
I thought I did.
Yeah,
I thought I did, and I was laughing at me for this one ship. It was like, oh, he needs a new naming convention in this, or a woman needs to come in and clean up his inventory. And I was like, okay, all right, everybody got jokes today, right?
Yep.
But I'm really terrible about leaving shit.
Oh yeah.
After like missions and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't want to drag it back, But yeah, I need to consolidate because a lot of stuff I can just sell. It's mostly. It's mostly loot from ratting.
Yep.
And ammo I'm keeping. I'm just gonna I'm gonna create an ammo dump somewhere. Somewhere one of my offices. I'm gonna have a big ass ammo dump. And that way if I need ammo, I'll just go there first.
Yep, got it all there. Yep.
Anything that I'm in excess of, then I'm either gonna start giving it away or selling it. I need to get and then I got shit. I have probably multiple ships of the same class.
Oh yeah. I got them all over.
And I probably and they probably all got the same fucking fits on them.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah, because I once I find a fit that I like, I kind of go with it over and over and over. So yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing is, I I didn't realize there was a limit on how many fits you can save.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I got 500 fits. Half these
Yeah.
fits are probably
Mm-hmm.
are really invalidated
Yep.
because
Yep.
for the first 6-7 years,
Mm-hmm.
I had no clue
Mm-hmm.
how to fit a ship.
Oh yeah. Me
So
either.
what I thought was
Yep.
hot shit
Yep.
was
Yep.
like
Was not.
dog shit
Yep.
now, you know.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So I got a shitload of fucking fits that I got to interrogate. So that's 500
Yeah.
fucking fits I have to review, you know.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, you know. So, but yeah, it's one of them things where, you know, you just don't think about it.
It'd be nice if they actually
And
had a date on them to tell you when it was. So.
they do.
Oh, do they?
do.
Okay.
You have to hover over it and
Okay.
it'll show you the date. But sometimes if I don't leave a note in it, it doesn't really, the date there were some that had the same date on it
Okay.
from different classes where I might have moved them from like the corporate one.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
not thinking that it was going to re-date stamp
Right.
it.
It re-date stamped it. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so that's just one of them things that I have to kind of. I'm going to make there's going to be a series of streams probably just to do inventory, because I'm going to have to go to Solitude. I'm going to have to start there. That's probably the most organized area is the stuff in Solitude. But since I don't do anything over there anymore,
Right.
I'm probably going to relocate everything back towards the west.
Yep.
On the other side of Dodixie.
Yeah, Kickin mentioned Ebon, and I've used that way back when. I didn't realize that was still a thing. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, that kind of shows you everything across the board, across the universe.
Yeah, I use JeveSX.
Oh, there you go.
That's the one I use.
Yep.
Yeah. And then somebody turned me on to Rift earlier today. I can't remember who it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't tried that one. PYFA. He says not Ebon, PYFA. I don't know what that
No,
one is.
that's PYFA is a fitting app.
Mm-hmm.
Eve Assets is you can
once
you do the validation, you can, if you own it, like I own a corp, so it'll pull in all my personal and corp assets, so I can see where stuff is.
Cool.
Well, it's in a corp hangar or if it's in a personal hangar.
Yep. So that's nice, and that's the way Evemon used to be way back when. But like I said, that was years ago.
Yeah, I don't think I've used Evemon. It's been years since I've used it. When I found, when I got a hold of Eve Assets, because it's Java based, it's really light. It's not a heavy software. It just runs on Java. It as long as you authenticate properly, you can pull all the information you need into it. So,
and that makes it easy. Yep. Thanks, StreetCornerBecky. I'll give that one a try.
Yeah, J Asset is very, very useful tool. PYFA is too for fittings.
Okay.
But yeah, those are the only two that I use currently, other than Held. Give me a second. Let me look real quick. Okay, I'm playing around with Rift, because Rift is supposedly have some integrations of all of these somewhat, except for PYFA.
Yeah, see, I hadn't even heard of that one, so.
Yeah, Rift is kind of new to me. So okay, here are the utilities that I use. JEV Assets, PYFA, Peld, Evo Preview. There was another one that I used too. Where is it? Shit. Maybe I don't use it anymore. And of course, I'm testing out Rift. So, but those four, the first four that I mentioned, are stable.
Okay.
You do get updates on a regular basis, and they are useful.
That's good.
So,
That's good.
Rift seems to be more useful. Seems to be useful too, but like I said, it incorporates some other web-based tools that are out there. Shit. What is the mapping one? I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Oh, I know which.
Preview,
Yeah,
something
what
like
the-
that.
Yeah, Eve preview. I think EveX preview. EveX preview.
Yeah, something like that, and a little bit of dot land and a few
Okay.
other items,
Okay.
but it does okay. Rift has a map. It has an intel feed, like Killboard. That you can get like real time like kills and stuff with that. It'll look through all your characters if you set it up properly. It does PI. It looks at your assets. It looks at your contact. Excuse me. Which I'm probably going to start using because of the contacts. Because sometimes I don't like to log into the fucking game to
Right.
look for certain people and look for
Right.
where I got them situated. So it even has the jukebox, the original.
Oh, there you go.
soundtrack.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, so I haven't played around with that yet, but I hear some people have used it. I think somebody used it on their stream once,
Okay.
or they were using it on their stream. But yeah, it has some So wait a minute, some things are gone for. Oh well, never mind. The jukebox is actually. Oh no, okay, but some find their way back. So
Yeah. Street Corner Becky
jukebox
says
is
there's a way to unlock the jukebox on the launcher. So.
Oh, it is.
Which I didn't realize.
Well, I don't know if anybody can hear.
Yeah.
I don't think it's set up. I don't have
I'm
the
like,
sound input.
yeah, I'm like kicking. I really missed the old jukebox. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, this one has, let's see, 75 tracks from the original soundtrack. Then it has the Eve trailer music. That's about 16 tracks, and then it has the permaband tracks. That's about 6 of those.
Wow.
Yeah, this is nice. I like this, and it has the feel of the UI in the game. You know, it has that same feel and look.
And you said that's Rift?
Yeah. The only place that I could get it easily was through the Microsoft. Hold on, the Microsoft Store.
Oh, okay.
I had a problem trying to get it off of GitHub. I don't know what it was. It never really installed correctly, but I happened to find it on. Find it on the Microsoft Store inadvertently, and I set up as a Microsoft app basically, so it's in my tool, my taskbar and stuff, and then it runs in the background. It uses very little resources, at least from what I can see. Let me see. Let me look up Rift real quick since I have it running.
Yeah. Thanks, fragwitz and Street Corner Becky. Appreciate it. Yeah, so they're giving instructions on how to get it going. So.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't pull a lot of memory. It right now it's using 2%, anywhere from 2 to 4% CPU.
That's not bad.
It's about 1,400 megabytes of memory, and it takes up 0.1 megabits per second of it's reading from the disk. So and it's not even using that much network. So it's a small tool. Because I monitor stuff like this because I need to. If I have an issue with lag or something like that, I need to find what it is so I can kill it. So I tend to do a lot of integration on anything that's running on my rig. Because I have had bad experiences where shit just decided to fucking die or crash because I had something running that it shouldn't have been running. So
this is awesome. You guys just made my whole day.
yeah, and now you also use the Evo preview too.
Yep.
Some people use EveX, but I
Eve
use
Minor, what's up, buddy?
Eve Minor, what's going on, bro?
Eve is beautiful.
I have not had a chance to try the EveX one. People have been telling me it's a good one, but I have to pull it down and load it up and try and test it out. I'm used to Evo. I got all of my parameters set in Evo. You know, everything it works fine for me. But
what's up, Morty?
some people, MortySnerd, what's up, bro?
Yep. JimmyJabbaJam, Will Johnsy, what's up, guys?
Oh, all the greats are coming in.
Yeah, they
What's
are.
Good? What's good?
Hoppy, good to see you.
And Hoppy, look at Hoppy.
Whatever.
Oh, man, what's up? Oh man, good to see you, bro. What's up? Uh-oh. Now everybody's
Yeah. Now they're all waking up.
Running stuff. Yeah. Thanks for coming in, folks. I appreciate it. I see Jimmy's in my channel, Will Jonesy, Hoppy.
The greats and Hoppy, you said it.
Yeah, the greats, yeah.
You guys are welcome to come mine with us.
I did not see Hoppy until after I said that, so I didn't know. So.
It wasn't on purpose.
No, the greats. Not the greats and Hoppy, the greats, okay? Oh, man.
All right, Kickin', you're calling the shots. Which belt we moving to? We killed this belt.
I am going to take my leave soon.
There you go. We appreciate you being here. Like I said, you're always welcome. So you want to go up or down?
I'll go with you because I need to compress a little bit more.
Oh, there you go. Well, he probably hasn't shut it off yet. You might be able to still get it.
Hold on. Let me see. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, cool. All right, I'm good.
All right, so we're going to go down. We're at 4-1. We're going to go to 5-1. So I'll go ahead and... actually, let me send Craig in. I'll send Craig in to clear the way. Make sure we don't have any rats waiting for us. Yeah, Megan, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Great having you along.
Yes. Same here. Thank you for having me.
No,
folks,
you're always welcome. Always welcome.
Appreciate it. Hey, folks, everybody in my channel, I'm gonna drop you over to on. Just hang tight. Let me just set the rate up real quick, and I'll just go ahead and drop you in. Again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll see you guys. See you guys tomorrow doing my stream 4:30. So.
Yep. Have a great day.
All right. There you go. All right. Everybody should have rated over to you.
Cool. There they are. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Take it easy. I'll see you guys soon.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
All right, welcome Raiders. You guys were already here before, so appreciate it. I'm going to shut down this shared chat one so we don't get any echoes. If I can figure that out. New phone, who this? I love that. That's awesome. That's awesome. New phone, who dis? Actually, it looks like I can leave it on. It doesn't do nothing. So cool. I'll just leave it on. That way we'll have it for the next time. So pretty easy to set that back up. But yeah, special thanks to Omega. Helping figure out the whole shared chat thing. That was pretty awesome. So we got somebody in a Vexer that just came in for some reason. Luckily, Kickin's here in his Chronos. Vexer's not going to hold a candle to that, so. Raid is coming from inside the house. There you go. Exactly. Easiest raid ever. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump over there. Actually, let me go ahead and just go to Craig and make it easier. Vexers do get a mining bonus. So there you go. Maybe that's what it is. So yeah, so if he wants to mine, we're happy to invite him. Luckily, we've got Blue Gray and Dark Slider here, my paranoid guys. So, they keep me honest. I'm too trusting. Yeah, always paranoid. This is Eve. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Blue Gray paranoid? Nah. Alright, so we're all set up in the new belt. Got some rats coming in. Kickin's got him. He's quicker than my drones. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to mess with us with Kickin sitting out there. His Chronos can take care of anything we're looking at, so. I never brought my salvage drone back. What the heck? That's weird. I'm currently in low sec trying to find event relics. Yeah, I did that yesterday, and I think I spent all day and found one. It was kind of ridiculous. I was in high sec though. So the high sec ones disappeared even faster than low sec, so. Full-time null specker, there you go. Yeah, those vectors are named abyssal boats, so maybe they are just running filaments, who knows. Yeah, it could be. Only 27k and a BP. Yeah, I need the BP, because that's one of the other ones I can do is make those wormhole filaments, but I don't have the BP. I may work on that tomorrow. I just need to wait till everybody gets done with theirs, and then they'll all be available towards the end of the event. Otherwise, I'm always competing with everybody, which is never fun. Never fun. Free drones if they try it. There you go. Yeah, you never know. It's always better to be safe, but that's why Kicking's here. So Brutix. Yeah. That's a blast from the past. Brutix. Though it worked. Worked really well. I'm just here for looks, yeah. Well, that's the thing. As soon as they see you sitting there, most of them are going to find a different belt. So, like, yeah, it ain't worth that. Especially in high sec. Because even if you don't take care of them, Concord will. So, they're not going to get all of us before Concord shows up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it throws off any of the alts that you have on that same account. So yeah, I loaded the ones Blossom had, and it loaded it for all my characters, which was kind of nice. Used to gank with one of the old leaders of code that got banned well over a decade ago. That's cool. Learned from the master. Yeah, we're missing a lot that we normally have. Because, like I said, this is my first Monday back, so even my CEO at the time came along with us. He was like, "This dude is good." Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the ones. Always want to learn from those people. So anything they want to teach, like, bring it on. Only Grank freighters. There you go. Got to have a concerted effort to get those guys. Takes too long to get through them. Got to have a bunch of people on. But profitable if you can do it. There you go. Yep. Yeah, the catalyst have a good firepower with the what is it, 6 or 7 turrets. Can't go wrong with that. That's why the other gankers use them too. Plus they're cheap in case you need to replace them. I was still using a catalyst for my salvage vessel here several months back until somebody turned me on to the Noctis.
The asteroid is depleted.
Yeah, yeah. So when did the kill happen with Lana in the Mackinac? When was that? But I have been flying starter ships near exclusively. Yeah. Yep. Yep. It is a bridge ship. And so, yeah. So, it makes a big difference. Like I said, I originally, the only thing I used them for was was salvaging. And like I said, because they just had so many turns, they were great for salvagers. But then when you guys helped me discover the Noctis, that's way better. I salvage a lot faster with the Noctis. In 2009. There you go. Oh, oh, there you go. So that's an old one. Yeah, that's an old one. That's cool. I thought you lost one recently, and I was like, man, that sucks. And these things are dropping like flies. We're going through this one way quicker than the other one. Maybe they're smaller. Oh, yeah, I can feel the heat coming in. So, air conditioner's still working full blast. So, yeah, they said 97 today. So, it's like, okie dokie. Still no rain since we got here. Though, like I said, end of next month is the rainy season, so then I'll probably be like, still no dry since the rainy season started. Yeah, 97. Yeah, it's been 95 every other day. 94, 95. So today's one of the higher ones, 97. So they say it fluctuates between 95 and 100 every day. So yeah, I'm getting used to it. I try not to go out. So right now it's just after noon, so 12:15, And so I try not to go out during the, the noon to 3 p.m., time frame. So Oilers find another goal early in the third, 4-2. Uh-oh, they might be coming back. Probably not. Kings, hopefully the Kings aren't going to lose their momentum. Yeah, that's a normal here. So, which is funny because I'm a winter guy. So the heat is definitely not my friend. But as my wife confessed, so she was in America 18 years, just short of 18 years. And she said she was never comfortable the whole time she was there. Even in some of the summers where we had like 100 degrees, it still wasn't the Filipino 100. And so she said she was always cold, always cold. I said, well, if that's the case, then I can suffer a little bit. That's not a big deal. So my problem is when you're cold, you can always put more clothes on to get warm. When you're hot, you can only take so much off before people start screaming, whoa, 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 whoa. Especially when you're a fat guy like me. So, like, whoa, whoa. But yeah, 97, so we'll see how that goes. But of course, Abigail is laying here sleeping, so she's doing all right. I once saw a meme about Missouri. Guy was barbecuing in the winter. It was warm when I started. There you go. Yeah. Well, that's the thing with Missouri, is the weather there changes by the hour. So I think the day we left, it was like high 80s. And then the very next day, it was like low 60s. And so, yeah. So it's like all over the place. And so, yeah. So you kind of got used to it. But I think that's one of the reasons why she was miserable. Because she would leave in the morning planning for a certain temperature. And by the end of the day, it had drastically changed. And she wasn't prepared. So where here in the Philippines, you just prepare for hot no matter what. And so you don't have to think about it. So 70s and then snow the next day. Yep. So yeah, I remember we had snow a couple times on Easter, which was kind of crazy. I was like, holy cow. So yeah. But yeah, that was the strangest place I ever lived in America was Missouri weather-wise. So yeah, it was definitely all over the place. Do any ships give a hacking bonus to relics? Ah, that's a good question. It would definitely be one of the scanning ships, probably the tier 2 ones, if they did. I don't know if it would be specific to relics, but it may be, yeah, I was thinking it would be specific, it may be a hacking bonus period. Probably not specific to relics, but yeah, that's a good question. Imicus. Yeah, so Imicus, the T2 of the Imicus is the yeah, why can't I think of it? I have a whole bunch of them. I have Heron on the mine now, but it's not the Heron, it's another H1, so. Oh, I ran out of space, so yeah, so my full hold is getting full. So yeah, I gotta keep on top of it better. Yeah. The Helios. Yeah. I don't know why I can never remember that. Astero. Yeah, that would be another one. Yeah. But yeah, the Helios. Blue Gray beat me to it. But yeah. The Astero is very overpriced. But
The asteroid is
when it comes to scanning ships, it's kind of the number one. So I lost my Astero here well, I've been saying I lost it recently for months, so I guess I can't really say recently anymore, but several months ago, and I haven't replaced it because it's too damn expensive. I want to build one, but even building it is super expensive. So yeah. But yeah, the Helios is is my default. That's what I use. I build them, so Marshall. Yeah, the Marshall. That's a little overpriced too. I'll give you that kicking. Marshall's overpriced. But yeah, the Metamorphosis, that was one they gave away because I don't know what they're selling them for. I think I have one of those. But yeah, I don't know what they sell for. That was one of the giveaway ships. Yeah, that Astero's just gotten outrageous, so. I mean, to buy the BPC to build it cost almost as much as just buying it. I was like, said I didn't want to buy it. So I definitely don't want to pay that much for a BPC. One run BPC. That's crazy. Yeah. And that was nice because I've got a lot of those ships for free and I have them. Like I said, that's why I don't know what the prices are now because they're all ones I've collected. So this account here has been around since Eve started. So Eve started in 2003. I think it started in May of 2003. I think it was Memorial Day weekend 2003. And this character became active in September of 2003. So I collected a lot of those ships. And they used to be all the giveaway ships, and most of them I haven't lost. So May 6th, there you go. Yep, actually, so yeah, you beat me. Good job. That's awesome. So maybe it was May 1st, 2003 then that it went live. I know it was sometime in May. So if you got on May 6th, must have been right around then. I thought it was Memorial Day weekend, but maybe not. But yeah, the good old days. '26, yeah. Nah. 2010. Oh, that's when it went live, May 6th. I got you. Okay. Yeah. 9 days before you turn 19. 2003, you turned 19. Good God. Yeah, 2003, I was 30 something. See, 2003, 35. Yeah, 35. So. Right, 35. Yeah, 35. Kings with another power play goal. Well, at least they got their momentum back. Of course, power play always helps. Stupid Oilers for doing a penalty. That'll teach them. Was just saying when it started. Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, because I can never remember when. I thought it was Memorial Day, but no, May 6th. Okay, cool. Good to know. I originally started an open beta. Came in. There you go. Well, you got me beat, Fragwitz. Good job. Yeah, like I said, I want to say I gave it 4 or 5 months to make sure it was going to actually stick before I paid, because I think you had to pay. I don't remember what you paid for it, but it wasn't expensive, but it wasn't cheap either back in 2003. That was even before I met
The
my wife,
asteroid is depleted.
my current wife. So I had a previous wife back then, I think. Actually, 2003, I think, is when I divorced her. So that's probably why I was playing Eve. So $3.99? No. Yeah. It was a little more than that. Yeah, I want to say it was like 40 bucks or something because you paid for the game. It came in a box. So you actually paid for it off the shelf. Installed it off of it might have been a CD, might have even been floppy disk back then. I don't remember. It probably was a CD. But yeah, that was before subscription. So
The asteroid is depleted.
but yeah, the good old days. Then they added subscriptions. And I think when it started, there were like, I don't know, there was like 5 ships per race. Only the 4 races. So yeah, it was like 20 ships. CD, yep. Yep. Yeah, maybe it was $12.99. Yeah, I don't remember. I actually found the original box and the disc when I was cleaning stuff out when I was packing up to move here to the Philippines. And it was like, I found a bunch of games that were in boxes that I had somehow saved for some reason. And so, but yeah, it was good. The good old days. You just paid for the game off the shelf and that was it. Yeah, Jumpgate was good. Yep, yep. Freelancer was also good. I played both of those. Yeah. Yeah, those are both good. I think I still play Freelancer every once in a while. Star Wars Galaxy CDs, yep. Yeah, I found the Fallout CDs were the ones that I found, which is funny because I bought them again on Steam, even though I had the CDs. Didn't realize if you with the CD code you can actually add them to Steam. So I've bought them twice now, probably 3 times. So, uh, the sub based was I don't know, like in the first 4 or 5 years. Let's say 2007, 2008. Because it started out non-subbed. You just bought the box, installed it, and then when they went sub, they took a big hit in player base. Yeah, yeah, that's what mine was. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I think I probably bought Fallout 1 probably 4 or 5 times. So, yeah. Then that's a classic, so it's worth it. Good golly, man, you guys are killing this belt. I can't even target him fast enough. That's the way to do it. I don't know why that other one took us so long. $3.5 for Doom, yeah. I probably had those too. Like I said, there were a lot of box games that I threw away. And I was like, I really hated to do it, but it was just like I had to decide what was going to make the cut. Oilers not giving up 5-3. Good job. I like to see a good game. I want the Kings to win, but I like to see a good game. But yeah, I was kind of surprised. I figured I had them somewhere, but I had so many boxes. I mean, I found paperwork from like 1995 that I had to have shredded. I was like, man, what ridiculous. But yeah, the 3.5s. I actually have an external CD-ROM laying around here someplace that I brought. that I actually had to buy because of some of those CD games. So they're remastering Fallout 3. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be good. That'll be good. That's what they did with Fallout 1, man. It made a huge difference. Huge. Well worth it. Yeah, I remember playing Fallout 1 way back in the beginning when it crashed. You were working on a quest and it crashed. You couldn't complete the quest. You had to start all over again. The good old days. 3 was the first 3D game. Yep. Yep. No. Alright, I should be back. OBS lost it again. This damn internet. I really need to get this fixed. Definitely missing out. Yeah, you're definitely missing out because those were they were classics. Like I said, I was pretty pissed with Bethesda when they made Star, whatever the newer one was, because it's like Fallout is your classic. Why would you, it was all right, but they were like, yeah, we think we've kind of gone as far as we can with Fallout. Yeah, Star Citizen's terrible. No, this one was Star... Crap. Now I'll have to find it here. Star... Maybe I got it wrong. Starts with an S. Starfield. Starfield was just recently. Within, I guess, the last year. But yeah, Starfield. No, StarCraft was another classic, so. Starfield, yep. Dark Slider got me. Yep. Star Citizen was terrible. It's still terrible. I can't believe that they're actually charging money to people for it, but they keep saying they're going to make it better, but people keep putting money into it and they still don't. So StarCraft was a classic too. StarCraft. Those were all disc ones that I always enjoyed. Wing Commander I never played. Never played Wing Commander. I don't know why. That was kind of weird because it was kind of in that genre that I played and Wing Commander was not one. So yeah, that was kind of strange. But yeah, Starfield, yeah. Bethesda put all their stuff into that one. Oh, is he the owner of Star Citizen? Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Roberts Industries, yeah. Yeah, that Star Citizen, I can't believe how they're fleecing people on that one. That's just ridiculous. They really should be held accountable for that, because that's ridiculous. Yeah. Chris Roberts, yep. I have a friend that has spent $12K on Star Citizen. Oh my lord. Well, that sucks. I feel bad for them. Yeah, I was pissed that I spent like $40. I was like, good God. But yeah, 12K. Oh man, that would suck. Because yeah, I think they're just fleecing everybody now. It's ridiculous. $12K. Oh man. Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure I spent that on a used car, to be honest. One of the ships he bought was 3K of it. Oh man. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Oof. Yeah, that hurts. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because honestly, I don't know that I ever spent that on a used car, to be perfectly honest. Actually, I shouldn't say that. My last car, my wife, I was doing some ministry at the prison, the Leavenworth prison, and I broke down on the way home one night from Leavenworth prison, and so she made me buy a more reliable car, and that one I spent. I think I want to say it was about 12,000. I think I spent on it. But yeah, previous to that, I bought pretty much all fixer uppers. So she got the new car, I got the fixer upper. At least until I got to the point where laying on the ground became a problem. Congrats on the 100 plex. Always good. CptnDynamo. I only did a one-time payment of $35 on one unfinished game, and it only went into 1-0 status this February. Satisfactory? I didn't have to spend anything else to get 1-0 from it. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I bought several of the early access games, and they don't always end up where they need to be, but I usually try to buy them cheap. I'm cheap as to a fault. So if they put them on sale and I can get them cheap, then that's kind of good. But yeah, Satisfactory, that was a good deal. Get it early, and then get the full process. A lot of people have mentioned Satisfactory to me, and I've never gotten into it. I played it once, and I never got into it. It does seem to be kind of in that genre of what I usually work with. So I got to play it for 7 years, right? Yep. Yeah, you can't beat that. Yeah, exactly. And that's the way it should be. Yeah, that's exactly how it should be. The issue with Star Citizen was originally marketed to Wing Commander fans as Squadron 42. Yep, I remember that. As soon as the millions rolled in, Chris Roberts kept changing the goalposts. Yep. Yeah, which was just ridiculous, because that's unacceptable. And that's where there should be some kind of regulation around that kind of thing to keep that from happening. Because, yeah, he did that completely on purpose. And so yeah, so... But yeah, if they do it like Satisfactory did, that's the way it's supposed to work. That's what early access is for, is to help them to fund the continued development. And so, yeah, exactly. He has. Yeah, well, and with good reason. I mean, because he's completely using it just to fill his pockets. Because he has no intention, I think, of ever finishing it. And that's the worst part about it, is it has potential, but yeah, that sickens me, because that really gives computer programmers, that's what I was for 25, actually for 50 years, that gives computer programmers a bad name. So ironically, they're never the ones that are funding anything. They never have any money. They're the worker bees. But yeah, there's a lot of them that have tried to do their own thing because of people managing stuff like that. And unfortunately, yeah, that's just... But yeah, he just abused the hell out of that Kickstarter. I founder backed it and was supposed to get this big package, and then he changed something. I didn't get anything. Yep. Yeah, see, I was actually, like I said, I'm pretty, what's the word, I guess paranoid is probably the better word, but I'm pretty careful when it comes to that kind of stuff. And so I usually wait and try not to jump on the games right away. because of that stuff that happens like that. And so, and Star Citizen was one that I really wanted to get on board with, but I was just like, yeah, this is, he's got it set up to really take advantage. And so I waited, and I think, like I said, I think I paid $40 and got the one ship and the starter pack. And I played it a little bit, and it was so damn buggy. I was like, okay, this is not good. And then I came back months later, and the exact same bugs were still in it. And I was like, okay, he's never gonna fix this. So yeah, but $40 was a lot compared to what I normally spend. I usually don't buy anything on Steam unless it's under 20, and so yeah, so I still kind of got fleeced there with the 40, but yeah, I can't imagine some of the people that went all in, you know, to try and support it, and he just screwed them, because that's ridiculous. That's, like I said, there should be some kind of regulation around that. But yeah, that's one of those things that what's that? I heard something here a couple months back that people were using GoFundMe to do fundraisers for things that were not legitimate, and they had determined that there was really no way to prosecute them in those cases, even though that's considered fraud. But they said, because, you know, they're really, you know, they're not doing a nonprofit, they're not doing things of that nature. If you give them money, then that's your problem. And I thought that was kind of wrong. And so, because yeah, there were a lot of people doing the GoFundMe and just saying, hey, I need some money, so I'm going to set up a GoFundMe. And or I think their big one was, they said somebody died, and they did a GoFundMe for the kid and the wife, and it turned out the guy was never dead. And so, yeah, it was just... But they said, yeah, well, if you give people money through something like that, that's your problem. And I'm like, And so, yeah, there needs to be some more regulation set up on those kind of things. Or just have people stop doing it, if that's possible. Probably not, but yeah, like he's given a really bad name to any of the Kickstarters or any of the early access or things of that nature. And there's been a lot of early access that literally, once they got their money, they took off and didn't do nothing. But see, like one that I did, 7 Days to Die is a big one that I play. And that was one that I did as an early access. And I mean, it was early access forever. But kind of the same thing as CptnDynamo. I mean, I paid for it, you know, $20 or whatever. I paid probably less than 20. And I played it years and years and years and have the full version now with no problem. And so yeah, so that was one that was worth it, where they actually stuck with it and did it. But that's like few and far between nowadays. A lot of them are just, let's see, we put it in early access just to get paid, and then say, never mind. Or we've decided we're not going to continue development on this. It's like, so yeah, unfortunately, got to be pretty careful. Problem is, you really don't know. It's funny because I realize you can refund things on Steam, but I think I've only ever refunded. I have literally 300, probably close to 400 games on Steam. I think I've only ever refunded one. And it was one where I played it the same day I bought it and was like, yeah, this is crap. And I had them refund it right away. And it was like, yeah, because most of them, by the time I decide, or by the time they decide they're not going to continue with it, it's been more than 30 days, so I can't get it refunded. And so, but yeah, like I said, I've become real leery about the early access stuff. So, it was a nice philosophy and it made sense, but it only makes sense if everybody follows the rules, which, since there aren't any really set up, nobody's being forced to follow them. So, but yeah, which is kind of sad. We are going through this belt like no tomorrow. Guys are tearing it up. where it took us forever on that first belt. Last AAA game I paid full price, $70 for, was Baldur's Gate 3, but I definitely got my money's worth. Yeah, and see, Baldur's Gate 3 is one that I don't think I've even bought yet, because it's still, still in the 50s. I'm like, yeah, if it comes down to being on sale for like 20, then I'll do it. But so yeah, I'm super cheap, super cheap. And that's one that's proven, right? It's worth the $70, but I'm just like, yeah, I'm not paying $70. It's funny. My wife will spend $70. Yeah, my wife will spend $70 on a pair of shoes, but I don't feel good. I don't feel good spending $70 on a game that I get way more enjoyment out of than she gets out of her shoes. I guarantee it. That's kind of a whole difference in marriage. We probably don't want to get into that. Yeah, see, and that's nice. Because those are really nice. The ones that have the cross-play. Be able to play with people on the console. That's just awesome. And like I said, that's well worth it, So, I didn't realize they had just added that. But that's big. That's really big. Sims 4? Wow. So your fiance is a gamer. Oh. Yeah, see, my wife, no games whatsoever. Thinks it's a complete waste of time. Though she's in favor of the Twitch. So I think mostly because I get a paycheck. But I was like, yeah. But yeah, I said a small one, but yeah. Yeah, see, neither one of my wives were gamers and didn't understand the affection I had for the games. I was like, well, it's kind of an escape, And I said, I need to find a gamer woman. Yeah, see, the problem with that though is then it gets competitive. See, I have my rig, and it's my rig, right? Nobody's messing with it. Nobody's changing my settings, And so, but yeah, from that perspective, if my wife was a gamer, I'm sure that my stuff would be all messed up because the way she moves stuff around the house, I'm sure she'd be screwing up my overviews and everything. By the time the second one came around, I had moved on to other games. Yeah, I need to find a gamer woman. For me, it's all about the social aspect of Eve. It is, and it's a big deal, And it was weird because the social aspect of Eve wasn't. I didn't completely enjoy it until I started streaming. Yeah, you gotta. Well, but that's the problem. My PC, I mean, this thing, I talk about being cheap, but I built this thing myself, and I still probably spent $1,500 on it. So, that's a lot of shoes. And so, but that's where I told her. I said, yeah, I may spend it on my PC, but yeah, I kind of save it in other places. But yeah, to spend two $1,500 PCs, that's a pretty big hit. So, used to be a high-sec combat expo guy, then discovered fleet PvP. Yeah, that's good. Password protection, yeah. But yeah, what I got in this one, that was one of the reasons why it was in a suitcase with me on the plane. Was because I was like, yeah, it's probably the most expensive thing I own. So, and as it was, that was probably 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah. Well, I mean, you got what, 6, 7 screens? So yours is probably more than that. Yeah. I mean, hell, just the little thing that holds all 6 screens up there is probably more than that. Yeah, like I did preface it with I'm cheap, remember? I was looking at one of those though. You made me think about that because with the old desk was made of press board or whatever, because that's what you get off of Amazon. This one's made of a hardwood, and so I was actually thinking about getting one of those arms with the monitors, and because this one I could actually have it on there and it would be sturdy enough to hold it. So the other one was not sturdy enough to hold that much weight. My PC was an 1100 pre-built Asus rod. Yeah, see, and I built this myself, so I saved a lot of money there. But I think it would, when I looked at a pre-built one with the same specs, it was about 2500. And so, but yeah, since I built it myself, I saved a lot of money. But still, it was kind of. And then, of course, they banged the hell out of it on the airline, which was. But a little bit of glue and case is back to normal. So, and it didn't damage any of the components, thank God. Like I said, my biggest problem was it looks like one of the wires came off of a jumper, and I couldn't get my USBs on the front to work, and I finally figured that out. Yeah, the pre-built markup is huge, and that's why I usually do it myself. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of troubleshooting with doing it yourself. A lot of, compatibility issues that you got to take into account and all that kind of stuff. But I kind of enjoy that. And so, but yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself because this one's 5 years old. And I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't buy another one before we left. I had a Micro Center real close to us there in Kansas City. One there in Overland Park. And that's where I got all my parts, and they were fantastic. I literally ordered it on the web and can go pick it up like an hour later, and that was just perfect. And so, but 360 with 16 gigabyte of RAM, Ryzen 7 markup, not too bad. Yeah, so that's not too bad. But yeah. Yeah, see, and I've got 32 gig in this one. Yep. Yeah, Ryzen 7. I think that might be what I have in here. So. But yeah, you got to work out all those compatibility issues and make sure everything's going to work together. I built one for my son, built one for my brother. And yeah, I wish I had built a new one here. Like I said, I said it in a previous stream, but we were wondering where our money was going to come from at one point because my 401k provider's kind of jerking me around, and so I didn't want to outlay a bunch of money on a new computer and then not be able to afford the rent. I only have paying $10.50 since I bought it from Walmart when I worked for them. That's cool. Employee discount. Yep. I'm surprised. Walmart sold such a high-end system. That's pretty good. Oh my goodness. Reagan sitting over here just twiddling his thumbs, not minding nothing. Too busy talking. Welcome to my world. Was on their website. They actually do carry decent PC stuff. There you go. Rovendoug, thanks for the subscription, buddy. I've been asking about you, wanting to see where you were at. I've been worried about you. I hadn't seen you since I've been back. Yeah, it was on their website. So they do carry some PC stuff on the website. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, see, I don't know that I've ever checked their website, to be honest. I always go in store. So, and all the stuff they have in store is crap. So, I think I buy compressed air from the store, but that's it. If I didn't get a few K from the V after my second review, I wouldn't have nearly complete computer upgrade. Still waiting on the PSU. Yep. Yeah, that always helps. That always helps. But yeah, it just turned out there was nothing to worry about with the finances. The house sold, everything else came rolling in, and now we're actually pretty flush. I think I've got probably 2 to 3 years worth of on hand. I probably don't even need to grab from my 401k yet. So the store in O'Fallon carries good stuff. Hell of a hike from the Philippines. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's one of the ones, the Micro Center is the one that I've been thinking if I can con one of my friends in Kansas City I'll place the order at Micro Center, have them go pick it up. I'll pay for it with my card, and then have them put it in a. They have something here they call a buy-on box, where it's a box so big, so tall that anything you can fit in it. You fill it full of lead, you fill it full of feathers. It's $100. And so I was like, yeah, if I get them to pack one of those for me and send it. The problem is it takes 2 months to get here, so. And yeah, no guarantee they don't get damaged. So Richmond Heights, one day I'll make it down there. Yeah, Micro Center, like I said, it hands down the best computer store I've ever dealt with. And so, like I said, the one there in Kansas City in Overland Park. Like I said, I'd order my stuff. Hour later, I could pick it up, and yeah, I never had a problem. Anything that didn't work, I could take it right back. So. They were about a half hour, 45-minute drive from me, so it kind of worked out. I'd order it, I'd start that way, and before I got there, they would say it's ready to pick up and fly in there and pick it up.
The asteroid is depleted.
But yeah, it was awesome. It really made it. Like I said, I built mine, I built my brother's, I built one for. I think I built 2 for my son, because he actually went through one, and so yeah, it worked out great. But yeah, that's yeah, go kicking. Yeah, love the Micro Center. Yeah, I swear by him. But that's the thing. I gotta figure out which friend I can trust well enough with $1,000 worth of computer equipment. I don't know that I have that friend. May not have met that friend yet. Like, yeah, sure, I'll send it to you. Yeah. On its way. Wait 2 months, see if it shows up. Wait 2 months, see if it shows up. This would be good in my PC, Bond. Bond who, exactly. Oilers get a late goal, 5-4. About a minute left. It's going to come down to the wire. Yeah, I'm sure the Kings will get an empty net goal. Put it away. It's amazing. I played hockey for years, and it's amazing how many times that empty net goal thing very rarely works out. Almost always costs you the game. But you got to take the chance. They already missed a few times. Yep. Rovendoug, good to see you, buddy. Lurking while I start packing for a family vacation next week and working to enjoy some OT pay while I'm out. There you go. Can't beat that OT pay. Get it while you can. Get it while you can. You'll be retired like me in no time with that. But yeah, if the Kings are missing the empty net, that's not a good sign. Especially since they already put 5 in with the goalie there. That's weird. Oh, I see what happened.
Is depleted.
Yeah, that sucks. Oh my lord. Cragen's sitting over here with his thumb up his butt again. I swear to God. I don't know why they're disappearing so fast. I guess I'll have to do Veldspar. Nobody wants the Veldspar. Only one ever does Veldspar is Jackson. Naturally, it's Connor McDavid. Ties up the game. There you go. Boom. See? And of course, right after I said never works out, right? Tied up the game. Now they got the goalie back in there. Yeah, now they got the goalie back in there. Guaranteed, because you don't want to lose it after you just tied it up. Crap. Playoff hockey. Doesn't get any better than that. Doesn't get any better than that. Doesn't get any better than that. Yep, put your goalie back in, let it go to OT. You definitely don't want them getting an open net goal now. That would suck. You tie it up and then they freaking get an open net goal. Oh, that would kill. Yeah, right after I said it never works out. They end up tying it up. Way to go. Way to go. Oh, crap. Great. Oh, no, he's okay. Thought I was going to run out of space. Yep. Playoff hockey, it's where it's at. They had an ad a couple years ago about that where they said, you know, playoff hockey, this is what you tune in for, you know? And it was so right. So I said, one of the few sports where the playoffs make a difference. Or like I said, some of the other ones, it's like, how did you make the playoffs? You know? You know, like the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Talk about huge letdowns. But they definitely had our playbook there for that one. But yeah, playoff hockey, gotta love it. Connor McDavid with the tying goal. All right. Finally actually got a message that one of the asteroids was gone. It's like the first one I've got. Alright, looks like the score dite's gone. That's why I think series are better in playoff format. Yep. So you can't deny the rush from one game. Winner takes all. That's true too. Yep. Kings get revenge. Seriously? 6-5. Way to go, Kings. Way to go, Kings. Oh, that sucks. So did the Oilers have their goalie back in, or was it open net? Because if they kept their goalie out, that is the stupidest decision. That coach ought to be shot. If the Kings slipped it past the goalie, then they deserve it. Goalie was in net. The Kings deserve it then. Yeah, seems like that's the only way the Kings can hit the goal is when the goalie's there. They missed all the open nets. When the goalie's there, they're making them all. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. When you're giving up 6 goals, your goalie isn't doing great anyway. That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. And you might want to be looking on the draft to see if you can get yourself another goalie. Some upcoming kid that's going to help. Somebody you can build. Because that's a definite investment. I don't know why more of them don't do it. Hockey's got a lot more exciting when they get rid of the red line pass. Yeah. That one was a controversial one, but yes, I agree. I agree. They need to put the play together and have them come through rather than let them set it up from so far out. That's just ridiculous. But yeah, that was a big controversy one. A lot of people were not happy with that one. A lot of the cherry pickers. In fact, when I played, the offsides was called all the time and religiously. I got called offsides a lot, and probably 2/3 of the time they were right, but. But yeah, that red line pass, that was where you got a lot of them that were trying to do with the cherry picking, staying just outside the zone. I think it just looks better too. I think it looks more team oriented, more effort, shows more skill when you're going down there on a 3-on-2 and making it happen, you know? That's the beauty of hockey, is when you put that kind of stuff together. The Wayne Gretzky's, of the world, where that man could hit a pinhole. It was just that good. Kings hold on, 6-5. Yeah, they deserved it. After missing the empty net multiple times, putting it in when the goalie's back in. They deserved it. So good for them. Good for them. Playoff hockey. I think single elimination works better in college basketball. Yep. I'm sure they caused more than a few cardiac arrest incidents. Yeah, probably a few. Of course, that's got to suck for the Oilers. You come back from being down. Well, they were down, 3-0? They come back to tie it. After pulling the goalie, come back to tie it. And then the goalie lets one slip in the last minute. That's got to suck. Of course, I think like StreetCornerBecky said, if you're letting 6 goals go, yeah, you're definitely not the best goalie to begin with. So, where are we at? 44. Oh shit, we're good. Plenty of room. But I do need to check my mining hold because these things fill up quick. Yeah, the Oilers have had a revolving door in net for a while. Yeah, they've never really had a good goalie. They had a couple that were adequate, but they're loaded for bear on offense. So yeah. And that's the trade-off that they've made. Is that okay? It doesn't matter about our goalie as long as we score a bunch of goals. But in this case, I mean, Kings were ahead by a lot. I mean, well, they did manage to come back, so there's something to be said for that. But to come back and then still lose it, that's got to hurt. That's got to really hurt. All right. I bet you Cragen's not mining again. Oh, he's still got one going. All right, let's do this. There we go.
The asteroid is depleted.
But yeah, they are loaded for bear on offense. But yeah, and that's a trade-off. Especially if you can't get a goalie. I mean, that's the way a lot of them are. There's only so many good goalies to go around, and so you got to make do with what you got. So they should have highlights up soon. We'll post for link. Excellent, thank you. Yeah, because that's high scoring game. 11 goals. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. Playoff hockey. Yeah, I'm trying to think. So it's a 2-hour drive, 2+ hour drive to Manila. Probably at least 2.5 hours back, depending on when she's coming back. Of course, it's Tuesday. So in her case, since it's Tuesday, that'll be a little easier. But yeah, so I probably still got at least 2 hours. Maybe I'll catch a. Maybe I'll be able to catch a game. Fans definitely got their money's worth. Yep. Which is what it's all about. I mean, honestly. I mean, that's the whole point in sports, right? That's why those guys get paid so much money. It's entertainment. And if it's not entertaining, it's not worth it. So. But yeah. 6'5". NFL fan. Yeah, I am too. I've been in a fantasy football league with my college buddies. So I graduated college in 91. So what was that? 34 years ago. And we've had a fantasy football league since I think 2 years before that. So I think we just a couple years back we celebrated our 30th anniversary of the fantasy football league, and that was when I kind of started getting involved with NFL. So yeah. Well, and then when they moved, now they're LA Rams, so that's got to hurt too. So St. Louis has always had trouble keeping an NFL team, but Kansas City couldn't keep a hockey team. So, I mean, I guess we've got the AAA, the why can't I think of the name now? They should have never left LA to begin with. That was all. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Mavericks. Thank you. I was thinking it was a T for some reason, and I don't know where. I was like, no, that doesn't seem right. Yeah, the Mavericks. The Mavericks are good. I've seen them several times. They were a little far away for me to buy season tickets. Because it was about an hour from my place where we were living up north. But I thought about it a couple times. Plus, that's another one of those outlays that I would have had to try and explain to my wife. So if I plunked down on season tickets for the Mavericks, then that was a lot more shoes and bags for her. So had to figure out whether our retirement was worth it or not. Plus, it was AAA. But I went and saw the Blades. Oh, jeez. I probably saw the Blades 50 times. In the first, I think I was there in Kansas City for eight years before the Blades folded. So, and I really enjoyed them. So, but yeah, it's not NHL, it's. But yeah, I was glad they at least got the Mavericks, but yeah, the Blades were actually not too far from my place, so they were a lot easier to catch. They were actually, when they were there, I lived further away. I lived down in the south then. I lived in Lee Summit, which was south of Kansas City, and they were harder for me to get to because they were downtown. But I worked downtown, so it wasn't so bad, and so I would just catch them after work. But grew up a lot of other places. Became a fan of most Chicago teams when I lived in New Mexico. Oh, see, my daughter's in New Mexico now. Except the Bulls and the Blackhawks. Yeah, the Bulls were kind of always the basketball. I think everybody was a Bulls fan because of Jordan. And so, but Blackhawks have always had a bad name. They've always had a bad name. They're kind of like the Raiders in the NFL. The Blackhawks are kind of the Raiders of the NHL. And so they just always had a bad name. but yeah, it was kind of funny because I grew up in Philadelphia, just outside of Philadelphia, and I have never. I was a Flyers fan early, Bobby Clark, and those years, which really is starting to date me. But once that era kind of took off, I was never an Eagles fan, never a Sixers fan. So yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Caviar. I'm out of my drink, but thanks. Appreciate it. And just now they have fallen back down to earth finally. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and that was the thing. Yeah, I think their 3 cups there was because of they made some good deals and ended up with some really quality players, but they didn't really take care of them. So once those contracts came up, but yeah, like you said, they were really living up off of that. I think it made them more arrogant. It's like when the Giants won 3 World Series in 6 years completely. Yep, 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 exactly the same. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's going to be the Giants, going to be the Giants, going to be the Giants." Well, I mean, kind of like the Chiefs, you know. The Chiefs were trying their three-peat, this year, and I mean, we didn't look like we should have even made the playoffs. I mean, that Super Bowl was horrible. I mean, those guys literally had our playbook. I mean, we couldn't put anything together. I mean, we looked horrible. And it was kind of, it was eye-opening because it let them know that, hey, you're not all that in a bag of chips, You guys are going to need to work for it just like everybody else. So, but yeah, I think any of those teams where they dominate, over and over and over like that, it kind of messes with your mind. Makes them think, that they're the rest of it, and it's all player based, so it's based on who you have on your team at that time, so and how the cohesion of the team. So, I mean, the Chiefs this year played fantastic, but then in that Super Bowl we looked like crap, and it was just, and it's because they had studied. They had studied us, knew what to expect, and knew how to counter it. And they just prepared better than we did. I fashioned myself some sports historian, and it grates on me that the NFL is the only one of 4 major North American sports that ignores half its history's championships. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that kind of grates on me as well. Not to the point that it's that I've lost faith in it, but yes. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, and it is kind of ridiculous because they've all dealt with it, and they've just kind of refused to even acknowledge it, to be honest. Which makes it worse, to be honest. So, yep, yep, yeah, yeah, exactly. Kind of easy to dominate when there's only 9, right? Got much better odds. Even if you just play the odds, you got a much better odds, right? Yeah.
The asteroid
Yeah, and I didn't realize that they had added the stats. So that's kind of nice. Because at least I think that's trying to make a better effort towards it, but at least acknowledge it. But yeah, like you said, they've been doing a really good job of denying it. Oops. I'm too far away. Oh, I hate when that happens. All right, let's do this one. I put Paul Brown up to the top 5 coaching wins. Yeah, yeah. I think we're gonna finish off this belt, and then we'll call it a night, or a day for me, but a night for you guys. Ooh, 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 ooh. So yeah, I can't even take 2 running. But it grates on me more because the Packers won the NFL title the year before they won the first 2 Super Bowls. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because they count it, but nobody else counts it for them. So that's kind of the crappy part. Yeah, because I was a big Green Bay fan when they got Favre, when they recruited Favre. I actually followed Favre in college, and when they recruited Favre, I was at that. Oh wow! Just saw Dallas won in overtime versus Colorado. Oof, that's a tough one. But yeah, I was a big Favre guy, and I was super pissed when at the end of his career he decided to jump ship. And so, yeah, yeah, yep. Which was funny because he was awesome in college. And it really made no sense why he was bad with Atlanta. It was really it really made no sense because he had everything he needed to be successful there. I think it was just it wasn't a good mesh. And so yeah, when they traded him, when he got traded over to Green Bay, that was when it made a huge difference. Yeah, yeah. Well, and that was it. I mean, yeah. I mean, they had no one come out of that organization with any kind of, mention, like you said. And so when he came out, everybody was kind of like, who, where the hell's that? And so, and then when he went to Atlanta and pretty much flubbed it, they were like, okay, well, that makes sense. It was just, it was just a college thing. But, and they were actually, at that point, they were kind of questioning the merits of the Heisman. If the Heisman, does it really make sense? Or are these guys qualified to really win it? Because I think he was the second or third Heisman to come out and didn't really amount to anything their first year. And so, yep. Yeah, and I think Drew was one of the other ones. But once again, once Drew moved to another team where he had a better mesh, he did really well. And so, and the same with Favre. I don't know what it was at Green Bay, but he really turned it around. And then that kind of got rid of all the Heisman haters because they were really bashing the Heisman. So, oh, he didn't. Okay, I thought he had. Oh, you might be right. You might be right. He was in the running and then he didn't get it. Yep. Yep, you're probably right. Yep. Yeah, because I remember he was up for it. I remember, yeah. As I was pretty pissed when he didn't get it, but it was kind of one of those. All that really did was get you a better draft spot. It really didn't do much. And like I said, the Heisman haters were all at that point. They were already bashing whether the judging was really correct or anything. So a lot of green and local, a lot of greens in local. Yeah, it's all right.
The asteroid is depleted.
But that coaching staff at Green Bay was legendary. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Thanks, Dark Slider. I'm definitely gonna click on that so I can watch it later. Just gotta make sure it doesn't take off. Ooh, now that's hockey. Which is weird because it's a college award and not a what will this dude do in it. Exactly. But that's the way I think they were all treating it, is if you got the Heisman, you were guaranteed to be good in the NFL. And it was like, no, you weren't. I mean, there were several Heisman Award winners that you know, their first year they got hurt, I think there was even one that only played 1 year and quit. I don't remember who that was. I'd have to look back at the list. But yeah, I think there was one that only played 1 year and quit. Because he's like, yeah, I don't think NFL's for me. I'm going to do something else. And so it was like, yeah, so there was never any premise that just because you won the Heisman, you were guaranteed to be successful in the NFL. You know, don't get me wrong, but only one Heisman winning QB is in the NFL, Roger Staubach. Yep. And so, yeah. So from that perspective, it was kind of like, but that's the way they were treating it. And don't get me wrong, it did get you a higher draft pick. But, you know, I mean, at that point, you know, it was all kind of speculation anyway. You know, lots of things got you a higher draft pick, you know. But yeah, it was kind of weird because that was one of those that was like, I'm not really sure what you guys are going for here or why you're having a problem with this. But yeah, there was a bunch of, we called them Heisman haters, where they were really questioning the validity of the Heisman Award. Eric Crouch won it, then quit when the Rams drafted him to play wide receiver. Okay, so that was probably the one I was thinking of. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, which was, and that's what I said. I said, I don't know why you guys were on this kick, because there's been, you know, if you look back through the Heisman Award winners, there's, you know, like you said, there's only one Heisman Award winning QB in all that's ever been in the NFL. And so it's like, oh, yeah, I don't know where you're getting this, that they're guaranteed to be successful. Because that's just, there's no guarantee in the NFL one way or the other. There's no guarantee for any of it. You could be hurt in the first year and have your career ruined, you know, if you even get to the NFL. And so, now granted, as a Heisman Award winner, you're pretty much guaranteed, if you want a spot in the NFL, that you're probably going to get it. But, you know, especially one in the NFL Hall of Fame. Some others have done all right, looking at Carson Palmer. Yeah. Did he win the Heisman? I didn't remember if he won the Heisman. But yeah, he's not a top tier. So yeah, okay. Yeah, but see, once again, he won the Heisman, and he really hasn't been what I'd call a top tier quarterback in the NFL. So Cam Newton, yeah, and Cam, same thing. He did well in the NFL, but definitely not what I'd call a top tier. Not in the top 10, I would say. Cam might be in the top 10. I don't know what the ranking is right at the moment. But yeah, so, but that was kind of the way they were treating it, is like, and so when they had a couple, what they were calling duds, you know, it was like, well, no, I mean, there's no guarantee in anything. Life has no guarantees. I'm so stoked for the draft. Yeah, I don't know. The draft always confuses me, because I'm not a coach. But I look at what some of the teams draft, and I'm like, what were you thinking? Like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I'm sure they have there's a method to the madness. So my QP just needed to work at a grocery store. There you go. There you go. And sometimes, they take a year off. You never know. Make them really reflect on what matters in life, right? I mean, I don't know about. I can't speak. I was never a sports guy. Like I said, I played hockey, but I was never good. Definitely not NHL material. But from that perspective, me taking a year off and doing a crap job to figure out what I wanted to do with my life really made a difference. So, man, I watched Underdog and thought Zachary Levi was midcast as a Warner. Yeah. Miscast. There's been a couple of those. But yeah, I mean, I remember I worked at, I think, I might have told you guys this, but while I was going to college, I worked at Pepperidge Farm. So in Downingtown, Pennsylvania, there's a Pepperidge Farm plant. And I worked there, and we're talking 89, 87, 88, 89. I was making probably 15, 17 bucks an hour. I mean, good wages, especially for that time. Pepperidge Farm remembers, exactly. And it was kind of strange because a lot of people, they started college and they dropped out, and because they were making such good wages there, they just worked there. And I remember going to college and cramming all year to write down on my finals things that I was never ever going to use again. And I'm going to Pepperidge and working and saying, I would leave college in the summer and I'd be like, this is stupid. I'm just throwing money away to get this piece of paper. And then I would go and I would work at Pepperidge Farm for the whole summer, and I would be like, oh, hell no. I cannot do this for the rest of my life. I can't do it. I can't. I've got to do something that makes a difference. I got to do something because it was just, it was a factory, I worked on the shipping dock, and I boxed trucks. I put boxes on trucks, and it was mindless, it was numbing, it was, but it paid a good wage. Yuling. But yeah, and so, if it hadn't been for me working there at that time, I probably would have never completed college. Because it was just like, you know what? I don't see the means to the end. And so I went to a small state school in Pennsylvania, a place no one's ever heard of, called Lock Haven University, and I got a piece of paper from them, and I built a career off of that piece of paper from them, and I made a very good living. I retired early at 57, and I have never looked back. But if it hadn't have been for Pepperidge Farm and that kind of what I call a dead-end job, that paid really good, but really wasn't challenging, mentally, I probably never would have completed college. Because at college, I saw as a waste. It was like, I'm just going here and I'm memorizing things to write them down on a test and then forget them 10 minutes later. And so it's a D2 school. I've heard of it. Well, I appreciate that you've heard of it. So yeah, it's a teacher school. I was going to be a teacher originally, but honestly, the reason I went there is because it was cheap. I paid $1,500 a semester, if you can think. Now we're talking, like I said, late 80s. Now they're charging way more than that. So, yeah, and yeah, we had a really good. We had a really good softball team. Our women's softball team was really good. They had a saying, Lock Haven, where the men are men and the women are too. And so our softball team was our female softball team kind of dominated for many years. Our football team sucked, Our soccer team sucked. I think our rugby team sucked, but our female softball team dominated. So, yeah, so Lock Haven, where the men are men and the women are too. So, but yeah. And I made some of my lifelong friends there, you know. I still keep in touch with the people I went to school with, you know. And so it was kind of amazing because it was like, you know, if I hadn't had that dented Pepperidge Farm job, it really made me evaluate what I wanted in life. You know, what do I really want out of life? You know, in my early 20s. Yep. More time doing that than playing games. Yeah, so it's funny because my roommate is actually a sports. He writes for a sports. I think he writes for a sports magazine now. My roommate from college. I still keep in touch with him. And so, yeah, he writes for a sports magazine. Oh, man, I can't even do one. Wow, that sucks. All right, we're going to have to stagger these guys. But, yeah, he was a big sports fanatic. And honestly, I learned more about sports from living with him than I did from anything else. I was never a sports guy. Like I said, I played hockey, but I played hockey. I didn't really follow hockey. I just enjoyed hockey. It was kind of... I could skate, and I was okay with the puck handling, and I could actually get it towards the net. So, but hockey was my family game, you know, my family sport. Everybody in my family played hockey. It was the Pennsylvania thing, you know. But yeah, it was funny. I learned more about sports from him. I never followed the NFL till I went to college. I made 2 videos last year I'm really happy with. Shows every FP school group by conference, including their fight song for 10 seconds. Did the same. Excellent. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. That's something to be really proud of. Yeah, actually, I'm just shocked that you heard of Lock Haven. Oh. Everybody else I said mentioned it too. Nobody's ever heard of it, so. But like I said, I got my piece of paper and I used that to get a job and just continue to move up from there. So it was worth it in the end. But while I was going through it, if it hadn't been that dead end job at Pepperidge Farm, I might not have ever realized that it was going to be worth it. So yeah, there's something for, I think that's what started this topic, is Kickin said, yeah, my quarterback just needs to take a year off and work at a grocery store. There's something to be said for working a dead-end job to help you understand what's important in life. What do you really want to do with your life? Blows my mind that Missouri State and Delaware are going FBS. Hopefully they'll play Mizzou more often now. That'll be good. Make it a lot more interesting, if nothing else. That's when you say it's a very exclusive school and hard to get in since they've never heard of it. Caviar, I like the way you think. If only. If only. It was the time in the Arena League that helped Kurt Warner out. Yep. And yeah, you're right. The Trent Green injury definitely helped too. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot that, you know, sometimes that reflection, I think we all need it, you know? And that's kind of one of the things I've told to my daughter, tried to tell my son, but yeah. But yeah, I'll have to use that one, Caviar. It's funny, one of the things I did find when I was packing stuff up was my degree. And I did save it. You know, I honestly wonder why, but because nobody in the last 30 years has asked to see it. So but I needed it to get my first job, and after that nobody cared, right? But yeah, and that's, I kind of told that to my daughter. I said, you know, you go through this process mostly to prove that you can complete something, and it really doesn't matter where the paper's from, just the fact that you got the paper. And then from that, you can kind of build a career, because, yeah, nothing, anything I learned in college, I never used in the workplace ever. It was ridiculous. So, my goodness, this thing is filling up super fast. So yeah, we're definitely got to be done anyway because I don't have any more storage in my damn ship. But yeah, I like the way you think, Caviar. That's pretty awesome. Super exclusive. Friend of mine graduated from a school you may or may not have heard. James Madison. Yeah, I've heard of that one. I have heard of that one. Kind of in a vague, offhand remark. I've heard of that one. Yeah. James Madison. Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I was actually just shocked that Streetcar had heard of it. So nobody but the people I went to school with there ever heard of it. So JMU has actually been doing great in football. Yep. They do great in everything. Good alma mater. Get you a good job. Oh, for crying out loud. I pretty much gotta do this one every single run. Oh, that's not gonna work. Actually been doing great in football. Yep. He went to community college first 2 years. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. My son, Missouri, actually has a program they call the A+ program. And if you graduate with honors in the A+ program, they'll pay for your way through a community college. They'll pay your first 2 years in a community college completely on the state. And of course, my son failed out of the community college. As he said, he wasn't college material, which, okay, that's fine. But I told him he had to go out and get a job, that he wasn't going to be a deadbeat. So, which he did. He still doesn't have a driver's license yet. In fact, I need to call him and see if he actually did get his driver's license, because we actually gave him the car that he was supposed to have the driver's license for. We gave him the car even without his driver's license, so now he may not have any inspiration to get his driver's license. But yeah, he'll be 27 in August and doesn't have a driver's license. So, which I can't fathom. I mean, I had a driver's license at 15, but my oldest two are in high school. I believe they're both on track for it. Being divorced, I don't always see their report card. So yep, I understand. That was the way I was too. So. But yeah, both him and his sister, they both got A+. She actually completed her 2 years of community college and decided college wasn't for her and went on, which I said, hey, that's great. You did it on the free dime, so why not? And, but yeah, he failed out. I think it was a year and a semester he failed out. Ironically, his class that caused his failure was computer science, which is what I did for a living. So I told him, hey, why, yeah, like you said, same thing. I was divorced, didn't always get the messages, and I'm like, why wouldn't you call me? That's what I do for a living. I could definitely help you with that. Like, yeah, I don't think college was for me. I was like, whether college is for you or not, you shouldn't fail out. At least complete it so that you can have something to fall back on later if you decide to change your mind again. Heaven forbid. Like, that never happens, but, you know. But then again, he's living with his mother, my first wife, and she made him a deal that if he never leaves her, she'll pay his bills for the rest of her life, which probably won't be much longer. And he took that deal. She made him that deal when he was 18. So yeah, I'm like, I tried to talk to him, but he's like, it's okay, Dad. Yeah, okay. But that's a whole nother topic. So yeah. That's where I say I have one productive member of society and one semi-productive member of society. I got my job half right. So my daughter is an overachiever who decided to have a child her senior year in high school, and so snuck out, be with her boyfriend. Of course, got pregnant, gave birth first day of her senior year, which allowed us to check off the box of we can't retire until we have grandchildren, because my granddaughter will be 15 in August. Lindley, how are you doing? Good to see you. And so, yeah, so my granddaughter will be 15 in August, which is kind of amazing. But yeah, and she's still done very well, even raising a child on her own, single mom. And so, which definitely hasn't been easy. So yeah, so I have one kind of overachiever and one whose mom, I think, still ties his shoes at 27. So I don't think it was the parenting style, but maybe it was. I don't know. But then again, I was the same way. I was a divorced dad, so I didn't always get a lot of say in what kind of parenting was happening. I always paid my child support, but that didn't always dictate me to be able to do anything else, unfortunately.
The asteroid is depleted.
My ex was notorious for making sure that the child support was paid, but not necessarily keeping me in the loop on what else was going on. So that was always frustrating. Lindley, what's going on? How's your day or night going so far? I'm kind of Blue Gray, good to see you. Since I've moved to the other side of the world, I'm not sure who's on days and nights anymore, so. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll finish off this belt. We're down to the Veldspar, so almost 1 a.m. there. Makes sense. Yep. 2 there. So yeah, Blue Gray's on the East Coast. So yeah, should be almost 2 there. Yep. StreetCornerBecky, you're in St. Louis. So yep, Central. So yep. Same with Kickin. I think Kickin fell asleep on us. He does that from time to time. That's all right. Just got to figure out a way to wake him up before we leave him stranded in the belt. So old man up past his bedtime, yeah. I wanted to get on these scans while the gang is here. Going to try the 2 sleeper relics, see what I get. Good luck. Yeah, he tends to do that. He's better at it than Jackson. When Jackson falls asleep, his ship ends up taking off, and so at least when Kickin falls asleep, he keeps giving us buffs and compression. As long as he doesn't run out of fuel, we're always good. So. But yeah, we'll finish up this belt since we're so close. and then we'll call it a night and or day. Day for me, night for the rest of you. Gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day. Probably take a nap. But I want to see if I can get some hockey in. Though probably most of the games are going to be over by the time I finish up. I'm in between jobs at the moment. It's all the same to me. Yeah, see, I'm retired, so that's kind of where I'm at. Though I don't know that it completely has sunk in yet. So it's only been about 2 weeks. So yeah, I guess 2 weeks, 3 weeks, almost going on 3 weeks. Yeah. So I don't know that it's completely sunk in yet. It still seems like just a vacation. So, though honestly, my wife's spending money like we're retired. So, yeah, they're done for tonight. But YouTube got all the highlights. Cool. Thanks, Dark Slider. Appreciate it. I saved that one link. When I clicked on it, it started playing, and it was like blah, blah, blaring. I was like, oh, that's hockey. That's hockey. That's what I love about hockey. So, but yeah, I figured they're probably done for tonight. So that's the problem with the stream is I don't have a TV in the office yet. So maybe once the desk comes, maybe this week, then I can maybe look at getting another TV. So it's funny. I told the wife to buy a smaller TV for downstairs. So our main TV is a 50-inch. The one she bought for downstairs is a 46-inch. I'm like, I don't think you really understood what I meant by smaller, but okay. But honestly, it was like half the price. So I may end up with a 36-inch as well, or yeah, 46-inch as well, because for that price, I really can't go wrong. So. Yeah, technically correct. Technically correct. You're absolutely right. Come on. Yeah, that was close. But yeah, technically correct. It is smaller. But she got a really nice TV stand for it, which was really nice. Glass top, which is very rare here. So I was really surprised by that. And she got that super cheap. She's quite the bargain hunter, so I got to give her credit for that. Which is why I really don't mind her going shopping. So that we have been spending money like we're retired. Of course, we had to buy all appliances. The furnished house was not furnished. So we had to buy all furniture, all appliances. Here in the Philippines, they don't provide any appliances for a rental property. So no microwave, no refrigerator, no nothing. So we had to provide all that. So, but we were expecting that. So, so it looks like the compression's off. So I'm definitely going to run out of space here in a second. All right, let's jettison this to a can. And what I'll do is I'll keep putting it in this cargo container, and I'll have Craig pick it up. Let's see where Craig is. How close is Craig to Falstaff? Oof, 28 kilometers. Okay. All right, let's get on it. Oops. Yeah, so Kickin's definitely asleep. Because now he ran out of fuel. So, and our compression's off. So back when digital projection TVs were top of the line, I had a 65-inch set. It was spectacular. Yeah, our one in Kansas City, which we sold with the house, it was a 65. maybe a 62. But yeah, super nice. I mean, it was funny. The wife wanted a big screen TV, and I was not in favor of a big screen TV. And so it was funny because it was the only house in America where the husband was arguing against the big screen TV. And the wife was arguing for it. And then when we got it, I was like, holy mackerel, this is awesome. I was like, okay, never mind. Best thing we ever bought. So yeah, it's pretty nice. So actually, it looks like Kickin's moving. I had a Samsung 65-inch HDR 12 that I paid $1,200 for. It was like being there. Yeah, that's the way this one was. It was awesome. And the worst part was the reason we got it, because I was against it. But the reason we got it is we went to Nebraska Furniture Mart. We went to Nebraska Furniture Mart, and they we bought some furniture. And they pretty much gave us the big screen TV as an add-on to the couch and love seat that we bought. They made it so simple that it was kind of like, if I turn this down, then I'm really being a major asshole. Because my wife really wanted the big screen TV, and I was like, yeah, they pretty much gave it away. I wanted to say it was less than $1,000, and because we were buying the couch and the love seat from them and something else, they just kind of threw it in and delivered it all at once. And so yeah, it was brainless. And then I mounted it on the wall, which was really cool. So that made it really nice. But yeah, it was funny. And that's the end of the belt. Alright, so now let me do this. Okay, so let's do this. So let's grab the mining hold compress stuff. Okay, we got that. And then let's stack all this stuff up. And then let's see how much we can get in there. Okay, cool. And then what we'll do is Kragen's approaching. Cool. So we'll do Kragen. And we'll have him open the cargo. Alright, and he can take the rest. Alright, cool beans. We got it. Alright. Alright, so we're going to call it a day. I don't know. Kickin hasn't responded, so I don't know where he's at. He really fell asleep. Kickin, if you're there, thanks for the boost and compression, and make sure to grab the fuel out of the fuel. Grab the fuel out of the corp hanger. Alright. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate all the support. Oop, let me get my drone here. We're going to be in trouble. And I'll be back again tomorrow night, same time. 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, 7:30 Mountain. Yeah. Well, he's moving, so it looks like he's doing something, though I don't know. Maybe somebody ran into him. I hate to leave him. Yeah, I hate to leave. Maybe he wasn't moving. Maybe I was moving. I wonder if we target him, maybe that'll set off an alarm and wake him up. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's asleep. So yeah, I definitely don't want to leave him here. So, but I'll go ahead and have Kragen go ahead and dock, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do. How I'm gonna try and wake him up. They used to have fireworks. I don't think I have any here in Ufine, but it used to have fireworks that you could set off, which would scare the crap out of somebody and wake them up. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he's asleep on the keyboard. So. I thought he was moving, but it looks like maybe I was moving. But yeah, he's got 3 of the 4 that are left here in the belt. So God bless him. God bless him. God bless him. But yeah. So, all right. Thanks again, StreetCornerBecky. Appreciate it. Dark Slider, thanks again. Everybody else, appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Let me see who I'm going to raid. Let me see who I'm going to raid. Back to Twitch. Zero's out there. Nth Dimension. Nth Dimension's got a bunch of people. Papa Chillin' is not doing Eve anymore. I really need to ask him what's going on there. Real Trouble. Ghosty's out there. Chronos has got the least. Zero Chronos. So let me go ahead and give him some love. Since he's got the least. We'll go ahead and give him some love. All right, you too. Thanks again, and have a good sleep. Papa streaming, it just wasn't for him. I knew he'd burn out. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So, and so yeah, he's doing other games. So he's doing like League of Legends now. But yeah, he just stopped Eve. So yeah, I've been meaning to ask him what was going on there, why he quit Eve. But yeah, which sucks because he has 43 million SP after. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Which really does suck. Yeah. Because that would actually get you pretty far. So, but I'm going to see if I can figure out how to wake up kicking here. I think if I can target him. I don't think I can target him since I'm in the same fleet. But yeah, no. So yes, thanks again. Appreciate you guys. I will be back on tomorrow night. Like I said, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, 7:30 Mountain. And so I will see you guys then. I hate when viewers burn out streamers. Yeah, he was going really hard, and so it wasn't surprised that he burned out. But my hope was that he would at least. He would kind of do some other stuff and then come back to it instead of just giving up on it completely. So, yeah. So, but yeah, that's rough. That's really rough. So, because he was a good streamer. So, but anyway, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. No, thank you. And let me turn you over to Zero. What was Zero's name? I guess it helps if I have his name. xKickNx. All right. xKickNx. All right. Well, thanks again. Appreciate it. Good night. Have a good night. Sleep well. Take care, StreetCornerBecky. Appreciate it. Take care, Blue Gray.